Good afternoon. Welcome to live shopping. Look who's in the house. It's our Chris from Killa Vanilla. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
You had such a good show last time, didn't you?
I appreciate that. I'm just appreciative of having the time to be able to tell the story and really get into the science, you know.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask all those questions that you want to ask at home. But if you have got questions, please feel free to type them into the comments underneath the video. If you bought Killa Vanilla last time, I love the name, I have to say. Killa Vanilla, I think it's fabulous. If you bought it last time, please let us know what results you've seen. We already had a lovely lady called Lizzie in the previous show, couldn't get in fast enough. She was like, oh, it's really good. I don't eat cake every day now, which is always a good thing, right? So we are live now on liveshopping.vip. It's super simple to shop with us here. There is one product on the show. So the only shop code that you need is shop vanilla. $29.95, and that will get you 3 months worth, right?
Yep.
And I have to tell you, so I will openly admit, I have yo-yo dieted probably from the age of 13. And Ian's put a hand up like that. My mum used to sell Cambridge Diet. Do you remember that?
Yeah, a bit before my time, I think.
It makes me do that just thinking about it. I'm really sorry, but it was like shakes. Okay. It was 330 calories a day.
Oof,
right.
That's tough. That's
right.
Tough. Yeah.
How did they survive?
Well, it worked, but it didn't. Because as soon as you started eating again, it all went back on and then some. So we're hoping that this is going to be a solution for that. I still eat chocolate. I'm never going to not eat chocolate because I like it, right? And you're only here once. But the quantity that I can consume is a little bit scary. I don't do more to share. I'm like that. Diane's like that. We're both very similar, aren't we? Like that. Yeah. So get your questions in. I'm going to grill Chris.
Yeah, please do.
Ready?
Yeah.
Stephanie's told me he's a superb guest and just let him go. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's get into it. Let's find out how it became to be, what it is, what the science is, and then you can make your informed decision. But please give Chris a very warm welcome because he's come back for a second time. He's brave, isn't he? Right, my lovely. Tell me all about it. So tell me a bit about you, first of all.
Well, I'm Chris. I'm 36 years old.
He's a bit, oh God, that makes me feel really old. My son's 35. Oh, Chris, that's made me feel really old. Thanks for that. Oh my goodness me, I could be your mother. That's really scary.
It's okay. It's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. Absolutely. Oh, it's good. Oh, sorry, I'm wrecking the set. You'll find that about me. I'm not very good at sitting still. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and well, I guess I've done a fair amount and quite a lot of varying things. I mean, my background is actually in real estate and construction, so buying land and buildings. And then I kind of wanted to go even further in terms of wanting to make a difference. And so Killa Vanilla came out of a few things, really. Randomness in trying to do something way more creative. Because I think it's, as much as real estate development is really important and we've got to build new homes and that kind of thing, it is hard to innovate. So I wanted to do something that was innovative and creative. And so there was a ton of randomness that came to Killa Vanilla over many, many years. There's been many, many years of research. I guess secondly, Killa Vanilla was in part to deal with our own cravings. I used to have terrible sugar binges.
Right.
And then really, I guess thirdly, just wanting to make a difference and something that actually has an impact on people's lives. And, you know, health is really important, you know. And I think we're seeing health more important now than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, particularly over the last half century. So I guess those are the key things that drive Killa Vanilla. I could probably go on and on. I could probably about 10 minutes on the actual history and the evolution of Killa Vanilla.
Let us hear it, because I think when you're putting your faith in something that instantly. So when I got this, I was like, right, that doesn't make sense. How does that work? So tell us that background, because I think that's really important to give you at home the security and the knowledge that there is a science behind this. And I think that's really important because you're going to spend your money on it. You want to know the development of it. I certainly do. I think that's worth going into.
Yeah, 100%. I'd love to get into that. I mean, so this all started all the way back in 2011.
Wow.
And very originally, we were trying to deal with odours in healthcare environments. And then that led us to meeting South Bank University, their Access to Innovation course, and we got grant funding to look at the impact of scent on body and mind. And so we kept going with that, and that's where we discovered that a particular kind of vanilla, the vanilla that is found in sugary food and drinks, can suppress sugar cravings. And we thought, well, this is more interesting. Let's move into this.
Yeah.
We've got health crises around obesity and diabetes, so let's move into this. Then we thought, I had to know that it worked.
Yes.
There was no way that we could put it out there. And my best friend and I were competing in the British Indoor Rowing Championship. So we used to row on the water back in the day, but this is rowing, if you imagine the indoor rowing machine in the gym, and we have, they're all over the world. You know, we've done the French nationals, and we used to do the British nationals, and it's 500 metres, so it's explosive, it's power, it's pretty horrible, to be honest. It is, you're screaming, your head is screaming, please stop, but you can't, you've got to keep going. So in that competition, there's a heavyweight category and a lightweight category. And I am, well, I guess because of my height, I'm kicking around 100 kgs, and that works in my favour because of the physics and velocity of a rowing machine. The heavier you are, the quicker you can pull. Yeah. But my best friend wasn't heavy enough to really make an impact. He said, look, I'm better off competing as a lightweight, but he had a terrible sweet tooth, and he had to lose 8 kgs in 16 weeks. So Killa Vanilla helped him do that. And he lost 8 kgs in 16 weeks and became British lightweight champion. And he said, look, I know this works. And then for me, it wasn't about weight. It was about, because the heavier I was, it actually helped me, but it was about health. Yes. And I would be smashing the Jaffa cakes on the way home, particularly in the winter. And it was that. And I'd eat, I'd really,
I know, I get it. You're in the car, aren't you? You're doing that.
And we all have our own habit loops around when these cravings come on, and for me, it was really specific. It was on the way home from work, and I'll get more into the habit loop because there's quite a lot to unpack. But in a nutshell, I killed my sugar cravings, killed my sugar habit with Killa Vanilla over 2 months. So I knew it worked, but amazingly, I still couldn't explain how or why this worked. And funny enough, we were speaking about the universe, speaking about divine intervention. Yes. At the time, this research paper came out, the first of its kind on the planet ever done, that looked at the impact of food scent, indulgent food scent. And they tried pizza and they tried cookie scent. And the upshot was, when exposed for 2 minutes to indulgent food scent, it satisfies your cravings for the indulgent foods.
Wow.
And this, and it was done in the States, and this is called, this bit is too complicated, but it's called the cross-modal sensory compensation effect. And I'll talk more about this. Okay. But that is really the neuroscience, what's happening in the moment. And then we've got the habit change. There's 2 pillars of science coming together. So that came out in Jan 2019. We were like, right, that's the science. We've got to get it to the market. So our first sale was 2020, and we've been going for 5 years. And then there's, I guess, reflecting on a comment earlier about the success, there's a real spectrum. So for some people, they just want to just cut out a few snacks here and there, but generally fit, generally healthy. And then at the other end, we've actually had customers reverse pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes, which is incredible, really. And that's what kind of makes it all worthwhile, really. And we've had numerous success stories of customers losing over 3 stone. Using Killa Vanilla over a period of months, and it's natural, it's non-invasive, it's safe. But the crucial thing is, and I'll get more into this, you are building a new habit that was kind of temporary, really, but to replace the old bad habit. Yes. So, tell me if I'm speaking too much.
No, Chris, I'm just going to let you go because I think when you're putting your faith into a product like this, you need to know all that information. It needs to make sense. And already knowing that specific vanilla makes a difference, changes everything. It's not just a stick that smells like vanilla, it's a specific vanilla that you find in sugary foods that then satisfies that craving, just because it does smell like you're baking a Victoria sandwich cake.
Yeah.
Doesn't it, with that vanilla feel to it? It really does smell like that. It's a lovely smell. And I was saying to you, wasn't I love Yankee candles, but I don't like the vanilla ones. It's not the right vanilla. That is like the vanilla seeds in the pods. You know, it's the difference between using extract and using proper vanilla.
And
right?
that's exactly what it is, because the active ingredient is vanillin. And the vanilla is interesting because earlier I mentioned pizza and cookie scent that was used, but we went with vanilla because vanilla has been paired with sugar for 500 years, centuries, and not only exactly as you said, there is a specific vanilla note that's paired physically with sugary food and drinks, and it's this Killa Vanilla, and it took us a year to find that exact common note. So I guess moving more into the science and the science in that moment. So we love sugar, right? We love it. Goes all the way back to our ancestors, because when we eat it, our brain releases dopamine.
Yes.
That dopamine makes us feel good. And in terms of our ancestry, it actually and the reason why it feels good, it incentivized us to do certain behaviors. Now, back in the day when life was far simpler and in Paleolithic times we were just trying to survive. Sugar was scarce, food was scarce, and we were literally just trying to survive. So when we came across, in real terms, a bush full of berries, the neurobiology evolved to say, hey, listen, you need to eat all of those berries because you've got to try and make you survive. All of that energy would be converted to fat, and it would help us survive the long, harsh winters. So we love, so that's the key thing. Sugar is all about dopamine, but what the research uncovered, we can get the same dopamine hit, albeit it's a little gentler, which is a good thing, from the actual food scent that mirrors those indulgent foods rather than having to eat it. And this is because flavour, when we break down sugary goods in our mouths, right, or any food for that matter, it is mainly smell. It's more smell than taste. And smell and taste make up the technical term chemosensation of flavour. And so flavours, and they work together as an engine. So the technical terms, the olfactory and the gustatory tract, the receptors of each converge in the orbital frontal cortex, which is part of the relay chain to kickstart the dopamine release. So the receptors converge in the overlapping area, and they work as a pair. So what this means is when we smell Killa Vanilla, our brain goes, we're eating sugar, and then we'll release some of that dopamine that happens when we actually eat the sugar. But of course we're not eating it, and we can avoid the calories and the health detriment that does come with a lot of sugar. And I guess just in terms of speaking about, you know, hunger and appetite and all that kind of thing, we believe, right, if you're hungry, you should eat.
Absolutely.
If you're hungry, you should eat. So this is not an appetite suppressant.
No.
It's a sugar craving suppressant.
Yep.
So this is when you're, you know, and when I go back, I desperately didn't want the Jaffa cakes. In my head, I was screaming in my head, I do not want the Jaffa cakes, but my cravings were so powerful.
Absolutely.
I would go into the superstore, or as a small express store, on the way home and buy them because the cravings were so strong. And so all that science that I just explained, the technical term for it is olfactory neuroscience. So basically what's happening in the brain with cravings and sugar, but also scent. That's pillar one. Pillar two is habit change. Because when we first launched 5 years ago, we were so hung up on that research paper, we thought actually it's not the full picture. Because Dominic, it took him 16 weeks, it took me 2 months. And so actually there's another whole piece in this, you know, what is that? And then we did another 6 months of research. We worked with specialists in the dietary fields and people with the NHS as well on an informal basis and did our own research. The second part is habit change. So let me explain what a habit loop is. You know, in those times where we think, I don't want the sugar, but I'm giving into my craving. That's because it's a habit. For a lot of our customers, it's a habit. So so first bit is a cue and or a trigger. They mean the same thing. So you mentioned you were in the car
I know it. When I go home tonight, I'll have a bath, I'll sit on my bed, I'll watch some telly, and I'll go, right, where's the chocolate?
Right.
Because it's Saturday night.
Right.
And do you know what the most ironic thing is for me? When we say, oh, I'm going to treat myself, and we treat myself to something that isn't good for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Why do we call sugary food a treat? Because it's not. We're not treating our bodies to something that's healthy, are we?
Yep.
Piece of fruit, maybe.
Yep.
But it fascinates me. This is brilliant. I love this.
And so what you described were your triggers.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Often.
Or in the car.
Yep.
Like that, on your own.
Yep.
Listen to a podcast. And you
Yep.
look down, you go, where did all those go?
Yeah, 100%. Oh,
Right?
right.
Right?
Yeah.
You do that, don't you? It's just one of those things.
Yeah. And so you can fit them into basically environment or mood mainly.
Yes, exactly.
And especially in those moments, am I right in saying that you don't actually need those?
No.
Right.
I'm not hungry.
Right. And so what we're after is actually the dopamine.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what we want.
Yes.
And so, and the other thing with mood, so there's a couple of things here. So when you're in the bath, you know, and the other thing is also watching TV. That's another classic one.
Yep.
It's nice, it's comfortable, it's great. And remember, our brain is hardwired to seek out dopamine. And sugar isn't just one way of getting it. We get it from our phones, from social media, a whole ton of things. But in that moment of comfort, our brain is like, right, how can we eke out more comfort, right? Because we want more dopamine. We want that dopamine. There are other scenarios where we could be bored, we could be stressed, feeling down.
Boredom.
Right, and boredom is uncomfortable.
Yep.
Certainly stress as well, very uncomfortable. And so all these cues and triggers, and they can be a collection at times, but from this kicks in the craving, right? So the craving is the motivational force to get us to the reward of dopamine, to basically alleviate these cues and triggers. So just to complete this habit loop, so we've got the cues and the triggers, the craving hits the action, so cue, trigger, craving, action is buying and eating the sugary goods. That leads to the reward. The reward is the release of dopamine. That dopamine in turn also fuels the cues and triggers, and it reinforces the behavior. And this is really important because the next thing you know, you do it without consciously thinking about it. It's not a conscious action. That's exactly what a habit is. And so we have a sugar habit, right?
Yeah.
And it takes 66 days to break the sugar habit. Now, and that's why we've got our 3-month pack.
Yeah.
Now, the only caveat to that, I'd say that some of our customers have cracked it in less time. Some of our customers that have had what I would say a very entrenched sugar habit for literally decades. I think some of our customers in their 60s, they've used Killa Vanilla on and off for a couple of years because the habit is so entrenched. But under ordinary circumstances, it's 3 months. So that's the habit loop. Now, you can't technically extinguish a bad habit. You can't be like, right, I'm just not going to do any of this today because life is hard, life is challenging, we're going to get bored, we're going to get stressed, we're going to feel down. The moments of comfort, we want to extend that, all that kind of thing. So we have to work with the cues and triggers. We need to work with the craving, and that we have to give ourselves a reward. And that's really crucial. So the last thing to play with is the action. So we replace the action of sugar, and when we do it with Killa Vanilla, we get the same reward from Killa Vanilla that we would from eating the sugar. So every time we use Killa Vanilla, what's happening is that we're breaking the association with sugar every time we use it, and we're rewiring our neural pathways to form a new habit that defeats the old one.
Wow.
So it's a
How
it's a
clever
lot.
is that?
It's a lot
Our
of
brain
information.
is so, but I guess this is me going off on one of the things. When you're born, you know, I read a book by a woman called Louise Hay called "You Can Heal Your Life," and she says when we're born as babies, we believe we are the most important person in the world because everybody knows when a baby's upset, when it's hurt, when it's hungry, when it's tired, because it lets you know, right? And it's only as we grow and take on everybody else's insecurities and learn behaviours around us that we then become part of that. And I guess it's the same, you know, you're not born with sugar cravings, are you? Or are you?
That is a really good question.
Do you know what I mean? It's learned. Like my mum, so I know why I binge. I binge because my mum, so I'd go to the shop, I'd buy a bag of sweets, take them home, and she'd go, right, you can have that many.
Yeah.
Right? If I had a bag of crisps, she'd come in and put her hand in. So I never had a full bag or a full packet or a full tube. So now, and she's not here anymore, but I still do it, but I do it with a now I can do it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's all those emotional elements that come into it as well that make you that person that craves sugar, that does that has those bad habits. Because you're not born with bad habits.
Yeah, habits are developed.
They are developed,
They are developed. And that's really interesting because you find that often partners or family members or friends often will have a sugar habit too. So we find that people will buy one for them, one for their friend, one for their partner.
Right.
Because it tends to, and by the way, the family bag, like the number of times in the past, that is, when I used to really struggle thinking about an ex-girlfriend who would buy a big bag of Haribo, and I'd say, could you just get the little ones? Because she'd have a couple, and then I would finish the bag because it was there, just because it was there.
Yes, you can.
Right? So, 100%. Certain behaviours are learned, and often they come as a collection with other people too. So we find that people will do Killa Vanilla together as friends, partners, as family, mum and daughter. Is a combination we've had. So habits are learned. I think, and the incredible thing about habits is that these little micro habits, they make up our lives, they constitute our lives, and they shape the outcomes of our lives.
Absolutely.
But we don't really talk about it.
No, we don't.
If you go into your local bookstore, you won't find anything on habits. Essentially,
No.
there's probably two main pieces of literature out there. There's Atomic Habits and The Power of Habit, and they're the two classic. But other than that, there's very, very little. But yet those little decisions that you make day to day, they stack up, and they literally do shape the outcome.
Absolutely.
So things like, weight gain in the moment, you have a little chocolate bar, you think, well, it's not a big deal.
No, because you don't feel it instantly, do you?
Right.
But then you get on the scales 3 days later and you're like, blinking egg.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I remember before, so when I used to weigh around 100 kg, and my eating habits, I wasn't on top of my eating habits, and I went home and I went on the scales and it said 110 kgs, and I thought, no, that's the, and I don't mind telling you this, but I thought the scales are wrong.
Yes, you do.
I
Don't you? You're like, that's not right. And you move it on the floor in case the floor isn't level, right? Don't you? Or if you're on a carpet, you go, no, it'd be better on a tile floor. You do all these things though, don't we?
I thought the scales were wrong. I thought that can't be right. And that's because I wasn't really focused on what I was eating day to day.
No.
And it creeps up on you.
It does.
And that's the thing, and particularly with chocolates, any processed, ultra-processed food high in added sugars, they're nutrient poor, calorie dense. And the thing, talking about smashing the family bags, you have a chocolate, it's a lot of calories, but you're not full up.
No.
It doesn't satiate you. If you take a piece of fruit that also contains but naturally occurring sugars, if you have an apple, it's hard to have a second apple because it's actually really filling. And even I eat more berries than apples, but when I used to have an apple with my porridge, I could only have half an apple. I couldn't eat the whole one because it's so naturally satiating and filling. But a chocolate bar is not at all. So that's how you can easily do. And then the other thing, there's an interesting school of thought at the moment, that your body intuits what it needs. So if it's not getting the nutrients from a food, it will keep eating, keep going, because it thinks it will eventually find the nutrients.
Yep.
So all these hard wirings that are going involved. I'll tell you what I think is really naughty though, with the processed foods, is that there are food technicians who will design the foods to light up our brain's reward center. So the way that we're talking about the dopamine, all that kind of, we're not the only ones who know this. big food manufacturers and the sugar industry know this, and we're hooked on the stuff, and it's because of the dopamine.
Absolutely.
So they know it's hard. You can't just have the one biscuit or the one chocolate. They're not designed that way. And then some chocolate manufacturers have put on their packaging now, I'll have one, split it in two, have one now, have one later.
Yes.
And I think, yeah, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's going to happen.
Nice idea, but it's never going to happen.
But you're absolutely right. You do, don't you? You buy the chocolate, it doesn't matter how big the bar of chocolate is, you eat it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm really bad, so I go, I'll just have a couple of pieces. Yeah, that never happens.
Yeah.
Because you have a couple and then you go, oh, yeah, that was nice. And then it's in your head, isn't it? It's in there and it's like, yeah, but I could just have a bit more and it'll be fine. And I'll tell you something else, low-fat products as well. Don't be fooled by that. Mm-hmm. I looked at the sugar content of a low-fat yogurt the other day. There were 4 teaspoons of sugar in that low-fat yogurt. Mm. And if you don't burn that sugar off as calories, it then turns to fat, right?
Yep.
Right, I've got some comments and questions coming in. Oh, I'm on low power mode.
Oh no.
Oh no, we need to get Diane the extension lead round here with the cord, with the adapter. Sorry, my words got shocking. Right, let's have a look. We've got some questions coming in. Placed my order already. My appetite is just weird after chemo. Julie, I get that. Honestly, you crave the most weird things after chemotherapy. I know because I've done it. I've had it. And all I wanted when I was in hospital was a poached egg on a crumpet. It came out, it didn't taste anything like a poached egg or a crumpet. Because the chemotherapy changes everything, so I get it. And my taste buds haven't been recovered either. There you go, I didn't even read that bit. I'm hoping this will discourage me from reaching for the sweet treats I can actually taste. Fingers crossed. There's the thing.
Yeah.
Your brain is that powerful that it can make you taste the food without eating it. That's bizarre, isn't it? I think, Julie, honestly, from my experience of that, because I am the biggest cynic going, right? And somebody says to me, take that, it'll stop your sugar cravings. I'm like, what? Really? Yeah. You know? I mean, I have been good and I have got some willpower, but on the days when I haven't, this has been amazing. Because you smell it. And how often in a day would you use that? As many times as you need to? As
many times as you need to. Whenever you get your craving. The key thing is 2 minutes is crucial. So the research shows it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes is really, really important.
Oh, you see, now that makes more sense.
And you mentioned willpower. Willpower is really interesting. Willpower is a real thing, by the way, and it's a finite resource that gets eroded throughout the day. So particularly if you have cravings in the evening, your willpower...
You're so right. I can avoid chocolate all day. As soon as I sit down in front of that television... Right, Katie's on camera. She's like, yes. As soon as you sit down and you're like, right, I'm watching the programme. I have to watch I'll tell you how bad it got for me. I had to watch programmes where there were 3 or 4 storylines going on at once. So I really had to focus on what was going on. Otherwise, I'd either be on my phone playing a ridiculous game or like that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And did you say that was the news, by the way? Or the headline?
Anything.
Because the news, I can't
deal with the news.
I feel like the whole world's collapsing. And
you do.
I just hear about people dying. It's stressful.
And they're almost joyful when there's a disaster because they've got some news to bring you.
I think they say if it bleeds, it reads. So, which is quite cynical, but
it's right.
And I find it quite stressful. So I can understand why people would be eating sugary goods when they're watching the news because it's so depressing.
You need the dopamine.
Yeah, the dopamine makes you feel better. That's right.
How clever is this? Come on, guys, you've got to try this, right? Seriously. And there's another one in there. Oh well, it's coming up to Christmas. I'll start in January. Start now. Don't make your body suffer for the next few months. Start now, right?
Yeah, or you can start building the habit now.
Absolutely.
And please enjoy Christmas. Well, there's a time because this is about at the end of the 3 months, it's about reclaiming and regaining control over your cravings. And so sugary goods are on your terms, right? So we're never saying never have sugar again.
No.
Have the chocolate bar when you want it, and it won't descend into a binge. That's the kind of healthy relationship that we want to develop. But, you know, enjoy Christmas. We're going to indulge in Christmas. But if we can kickstart it now, enjoy Christmas, we're kind of halfway through the process, and then we can get back on the wagon just after Christmas. So, yeah, and also it'd be quite nice to have
We're actually going to do something next year where you see all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on
cool, it's fun.
because that's hilarious. You see, you say that, and I agree with you. You do get that good thing, and enjoy Christmas, absolutely. But then you get to a stage where you've enjoyed Christmas, and then you feel bad because you've eaten all the bad stuff.
Yes.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. And I think that is also quite normal. And I think millions of us feel that.
But then you need more dopamine to make you feel better.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
it's this continual spiral of, I really want that chocolate. I'm going to eat the chocolate. And you don't, half the time, I don't even taste it, Chris.
Yep.
I don't even taste it. And I can't remember, there was some research done a few years ago, and it said, when you're eating something, as soon as you stop tasting it, you've had enough of it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
That's really interesting.
Because the first few Maltesers taste absolutely divine, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
They taste amazing. But after about 10, you don't actually taste them. It's that habit of, isn't it?
And then you've
This is fascinating. I love this. This is brilliant. Right?
And it's brilliant to be talking about it because we don't really talk about what's happening in that moment, and particularly for us who get hooked on the cravings and find it difficult to not have the sugar, it's just brilliant to be able to talk about, because by explaining and understanding what's happening, that's the first step in us to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And they call dopamine the molecule of more. So once you've started the chocolate, it's very hard to stop. Because your dopamine is like, because our ancestral mind is like, we found a bush full of berries. Keep going, mate. Keep. You got to finish all of it,
right? Yeah. Storage.
Yeah, and that's how we are hardwired. And it's all. And the other fascinating thing, it's all driven by the brain. It's all neurological. And particularly, I mean, habit change is also, because when we think about habits, we think about actions and behaviour, which is what it is. But it is neurological because it's all in the brain. It's all about that drive for dopamine. It's all in here. So,
can I ask, does it change with hormone changes as you go through your life? I'm interested in that.
Yes. In a nutshell, yes. So with hormonal changes can drive cravings, insofar as I understand. I think the key thing, if you find yourself in that situation, the first question to ask is, am I hungry?
Yes.
Right. If you're hungry, eat whole foods, high in protein content. We're big fans of that. If you're not hungry and you don't need any food, particularly the sugar, then you can use Killa Vanilla.
Yeah.
But yes, certain parts of life and age, there are different things that affect cravings.
I think most women out there, and there's 3 of us in this room who I think will agree with this. You have a certain time of the month and you just want sugar. Yeah. My husband said to me, I have never been as scared ever in my life as that moment when you were due to come to that time of the month and I took your chocolate off you as a joke. He said, I have never been as scared of anybody in my life when you looked at me like you were going to murder me on the spot, and I don't shout, and I just went, give me the chocolate. He said, you gritted your teeth and he went, give me that chocolate now. And he said, I didn't even need to think about it. He said, I just literally threw it at you. He said, because of the look on your face. But again, that is your brain. Everything comes from you. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's incredible.
It's too big to comprehend, the human brain, isn't it?
100%.
Blows my mind.
And it's still quite underdeveloped as a field of research.
Absolutely.
So with Killa Vanilla, what we're talking about with flavour, the technical term for smell, olfaction, is really underdeveloped, and which is insane, because going way back in the day when we were primitive organisms trying to survive, we were reliant on scent. Scent came first 3.5 billion years ago, and then we've just seemed to just forgotten about it, neglected it.
Yeah.
Our sense of smell, like, come on, guys,
I
like
know.
you have relied on me
Yep.
forever, for all of humanity. And it only really, there's more interest in the 90s, and now there's links with certain things like Alzheimer's, olfactory impairment and that kind of thing. So now there's more interest. But this here, what we're doing, there's nobody else on the planet using food scent in this way, or even know what it's capable of.
Wow.
Because that research that came out 6 years ago, we think has been buried by the food industry, because they know the magnitude of what that research discovered.
Wow.
But the good news is we're actually doing our own, and we're building on that research.
I love that.
There is a guy.
Right, come on, guys, you need to be in at the beginning of this. This is really exciting. Nobody else on the planet.
There is nobody on the planet doing this right now. And we've also got our patent granted, so nobody else can do this. And that took us 5 years to get that patent,
I bet.
because we had to demonstrate the science.
Exactly that. So
was,
you know it works.
Yeah, they needed.
It's not it might or it might not. It will work.
To get that patent, we had to provide evidence.
Wow.
They had to know the science. They had to have all of that stuff to basically award us the patent. So this and coming back to your first question at the beginning, why this? It's the innovation of the science that really excites me. That is the thing that really gives me a real buzz, is the innovation and the science. And we're now working with certain people in the UK. So the UK's #1 academic specialist, great guy, based in Portsmouth, called Dr. Lorenzo Stafford. So he published his book last year. It's called Smell, Taste, Eat, the Role of Chemical Senses in Eating Behaviour.
Wow.
That piece of literature that he put together, because it's so niche, like this field that we're in here is so niche, that book is the UK's, it's the first of its kind with that specifically. So we're teaming up with Lorenzo, and we're doing even more research.
Fascinating.
And we're working with a GP practice.
I love this. This is brilliant.
Yeah,
Imagine if you could have that on the NHS.
Well, I've applied for something called the NHS Innovation Accelerator course. So it's like a 3-year thing. I've got to get on it though. It'd be very, very, very tough to get on it.
But I have a feeling that you'll make that happen.
Well, touch wood, because the thing is, we've had GPs recommend the product. So when people buy from our website, there's a little survey, and people can say, well, how did you hear about us? And people have said GPs. The frustrating thing is we don't know who those GPs are. We don't know anything.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now then, we have a gentleman that works, that he's one of our friends and family, we like to call them at home, called Alan, and he's asking, will Killa Vanilla help with anxiety disorders? And then he says, question. Sorry to ask. This is his anxiety. He doesn't ever want to upset anybody.
Oh.
Right? So it always apologises.
Yeah.
Alan, I hope you don't mind me telling you this bit, but will it work with that?
So
that's difficult to answer in a nutshell, isn't it, really?
So please don't apologise. I can empathise with anxiety. It's very, very. When it comes on, boys, you don't wish it on anyone.
Okay.
But the truth is, I don't know. But I'll give you. There might be a way of answering that question. We know that there is a link with sugar and anxiety.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
The two do go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So by reducing your sugar intake, it could help with reducing anxiety. And there are kind of things on the edge of what we're doing that people they will buy. So for instance, I had a lady this week buy to try to stop vaping.
Okay.
I had a customer who had a ketamine addiction, to use it to come off ketamine.
Wow.
So there are these sort of peripheral cases.
Because of that dopamine.
Right.
That makes complete sense to me. Oh, I've just got this thing. I get this really weird thing. I know I am a fruitcake, but when I'm saying something that's correct, the universe gives me this energy that goes right down my legs.
Amazing.
It literally, I can feel it. So when I
yeah.
close my eyes, I don't have any colour or any pictures.
Really?
Told you I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
But I feel.
Wow.
And that has just gone whoop, right?
Really? Can you see auras and things like that? Wow. Okay. Oh, gosh, I don't want to take us off course.
I have a brand of craft that's called Quirky Bird. You know now why now, don't you? Someone said to my husband, "Why Quirky Bird?" He went, "Are you serious?"
That's brilliant.
Do you know what, Alan? I'm going to say to you, try it. So 3 months, you think it takes to work.
Yep.
Anytime you've got that craving or that need to feel that dopamine, that nice, happy, calm place, and it needs to be 2 minutes at a time.
Yep.
Okay, so I've been using that completely wrong.
So how?
Because I do that and put it back in my pocket.
Okay. Well,
right, Diane's going, yep.
Okay.
This is, do you know what? I could talk to you all day. This is fabulous, isn't it? Diane's like, but it all makes absolute sense. It connects the dots. It makes sense.
Yep.
Alan, please try it and let us know how you get on. We can't guarantee it, but please try it, because I think that it might not get rid of it completely, because that is a whole learned behaviour again, isn't it? Because you're not born anxious, it's learnt. But that,
absolutely.
if you say to your brain that equals calm enough times, it's going to listen, right?
So I think if you're open-minded, you could use it in a way that works for you. And
Absolutely.
This is really, and I think this is one for us in the future, because at the moment we can demonstrate, you see, because the vanilla is paired with sugar.
You've got the science.
And because the flavour is smell and taste, we can sort of make that statement, you see. But I do think, because I think in the future we will look at other dopamine addictions through scent.
Absolutely.
That is the future. But for now, I just want to be really careful and say, try it rather than
an absolute guarantee. But it would be really interesting to know, wouldn't it, if it works? Because it is all those receptors in your brain, isn't it, that go happy. I need to be happy. Good. It's fascinating. Marie Paul says, bought this last time. How long do you think it takes? I was the same as Mel. I was allowed a sweet on a Sunday. One sweet on a Sunday.
And
isn't that amazing?
It's and that's why
learned behaviour.
Yeah, restrictive diets we think don't work, because when you're restricted, whereas what we're saying is it's about regaining control.
Absolutely.
So like you said, you do have chocolate here and there, like I do, but it's on my terms, it's in moderation, it's a healthy relationship. So we never say, that this is a really important point. And it's, and I think the sad thing is, I think that probably came from a good place with your mum.
Yeah.
Worried about your teeth and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is like the complexity of life, with parenting, that kind of thing. You think you're trying to do something helpful.
There was also an element of she cared what other people thought.
Okay.
Right? And I mean, she struggled with her weight.
Okay.
The whole family, but it's genetic. I am exactly the same shape as my mum was.
Okay.
Exactly the same shape.
Yeah.
And some of that is genetic. And it was like, I had friends who were super tall, slim, all of that. And it was for her a lot about what other people thought.
Okay.
What I struggle with is when she passed away, I didn't have to worry about what anybody thought, because I'm one of those people. I'm not bothered what other people think. As long as I know I'm a good person and I can sleep at night, that's what,
I love that.
For me,
I love that.
That's who I am. If you don't like it, don't look. That's my thing, right?
Yeah.
But even now, when I'm eating that more to share bag, I'm going, I wouldn't have been able to do this, would I?
Yeah.
Isn't that bizarre? I'm 56 years old, you know?
So my auntie, my dad's sister, always wanted to get a tattoo, and her mum never allowed her a tattoo. And then when she passed, bang, and it's like got lots, and so that restriction never. It's complex though, isn't it?
It's very complex.
It's a whole new. Could spend another hour talking about that.
Absolutely, learnt behaviour, etc. Right now, then we've got Lizzie. Lizzie, I just popped in to say I bought this last time. I now don't eat cake or biscuits every day, and don't even crave them. Little bit of willpower first, but it's paid off, and I eat better. Thank you.
That is what it's all
about. How good? I've got that thing again. How good does that make you feel?
yeah, I want to kind of.
That's your dopamine, right?
Yeah, that is my.
Right?
That's my dopamine. Yeah. But you know,
This is so exciting. I love this. Helen McGrath, well done you. What do I do now with Jaffa cakes in the cupboard?
so
Don't give
whatever.
them Chris.
Don't give them to Chris. Don't encourage him. That's brilliant. I love that. Right, Lizzie. If you want to eat the Jaffa cakes, eat the Jaffa cakes.
Mm-hmm.
There's two there's two different things. There's, first of all, if you've got it in the house, you know it's there. You're not bothered about it. If you haven't got it in the house, you're like this. I need to go and get chocolate. I need to go and get chocolate. I need to go and get chocolate. I have no chocolate. I need to go and get chocolate. There's two different bands, I think. Those that crave it when they haven't got it, and those that just eat it, right? And it's not because you're hungry either. Alan says, thank you for answering my questions, as I always get scared and anxious every day. That's a learnt behaviour. And for me, if you can learn a behaviour, you can unlearn a behaviour, right?
100%.
Right.
That is one of the most profound things I've heard in a long time. You can unlearn it, and that is the point.
That thing again.
And that is exactly what we're doing with Killa Vanilla.
Exactly that.
And that's the beauty. So we call sugar a bad habit. Well, the good news is it is only a habit.
It is.
And because it's a habit, we can break it.
Exactly that.
We can unlearn that behaviour.
Absolutely, you can unlearn a behaviour. And it takes a lot of strength to do that. And it's usually the people who don't think they're strong enough that actually achieve it.
Yeah,
It's like, and this is a difficult topic to talk about, but if you've been in a family where there's been abuse, you usually find that some people who are abused abuse because they're not strong enough to break that habit. And then I'll see people who are on their knees crying because they've done this, and I'm like, but you've broken that cycle.
Yep.
You made that decision that you were going to stop that behaviour. And that's a really extreme case, but this is the same thing. If your parents have, I mean, me and my mum and dad were exactly the same. We would go out for a meal, we'd look at the dessert menu first, right? To decide whether you wanted a starter and a main course, or a main course or a dessert. We would always look at the sweet thing first, even though she said, no, you can't have that many. The opposite of that was, let's see what the sweet stuff is, and then you'll decide whether you can eat the vegetables or whether you just want the sweet stuff. So it's a really confusing message for a lot of people out there. You are your own person. You have the right to choose what you put into your body, right?
Absolutely.
And if you want to unlearn that learnt behaviour, and it doesn't happen like that, because I've got 56 years of that learnt behaviour.
Yep.
It's going to take me more than 3 months to unlearn
Yep.
that behaviour. But I will tell you that has absolutely helped.
Yep.
When I get back to the house at night and I've had my bath and there's that bag of chocolate buttons, and it's not even a mortar share, it's a big extra large one, I can now go to that bag and have 4 of those, and that's enough.
Love it.
Because I have my Killa Vanilla first, then I have the buttons, then I do my Killa Vanilla again. I'm like, right, I'm done.
Yeah, I love it.
Listen to this, because this will tell you everything that you need to know. Alan, I would be fascinated to know if it works. Absolutely fascinated, because the science isn't there for that, and I'm not going to ask Chris to say yes categorically it will work, because that's not fair on Chris, and it's certainly not fair on you. But the 2-minute thing now, I didn't know that bit of information. That now makes complete, and the story behind it, it just makes the complete sense. Now then, Terry Kim says, hi Mel, can you tell me if the scent is strong? I lost my sense of smell years back following a bad flu virus. I can only smell something if it's a very strong scent. I think it's quite strong. It's not like... Have you smelt it, Katie?
It is, I mean, because obviously the size of it means you can get quite close anyway, so it's stronger the closer you get. So
Yeah.
you can...
And how close can you get?
Well, we say waft on the tip of your nose, so don't put it in there.
No.
I think it's really interesting. I think we all have
That's fascinating.
different, like we all have varying palates, right? And our flavour systems are all different. Our olfactory ability is different from person to person. So it says Terry, right?
Yes, Terry Kim. Yeah.
Like I think there's an element of Terry only probably finding out when he gets it. But
Terry Kim.
oh, sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
I know
Terry
it's
Kim.
confusing, isn't it?
I
was like that at the beginning. I was like, no, it's Terry with an I. Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing is, so if you check out our Google reviews, some of our anosmic customers have had success with Killa Vanilla because they focus on the habit element rather than the scent. So I'd check those out and see if you can relate to any of that.
Okay, Lizzie's come back in and she said, Mel, that's the amazing thing about it. Normally, I would go to the shop, but I don't now. I don't crave it. My brain has been trained.
Yeah.
Oh, Lizzie, I've got that whole blinking thing again. You need to stop doing this because I feel like I'm vibrating at the moment. There's all this electricity going through me. I feel like if I touched anybody, I'd set like sparks going. But that is interesting. But she says a chocolate bar in my house stays still. Someone else eats it. Oh no, sorry. A chocolate bar in my house stays.
I think it stays
until someone else eats it now. That's amazing. Thank you, Chris, for bringing this product, says Marie.
Oh, thank you.
Terry Kim says, I was like you. The first thing I'd look at when going out for a meal, the desserts, not too bothered by the main. It's that dopamine, isn't it? It's that constant. Brilliant. Alan's come back, he says, I've had anxiety since 1988 and it has been very difficult for me since my nan passed away in 2022. Absolutely. You know, it's life, as you said earlier on. It's all those difficult elements of life that come along and they knock you off your path, don't they? But there is also an element of somebody who's lived for 56 years knowing that when you're knocked off that path, it's because you're going on a different one. And it's where you're meant to go. Somebody once said to me, if you knock on a door and it doesn't open easily, it's probably the wrong door. Right?
Are you normally this profound and wise? Because I need to tune in more because I'm picking up nuggets.
There's a very, very bizarre story that one day I will share with everybody that got me to where I was. Because let me tell you, Alan, I used to wake up in the morning and worry about having nothing to worry about. And now I don't worry about anything at all. Because actually all we have is this moment. And if you can learn to live in this moment right now, because we're not guaranteed anything else. Somebody had told us 7 years ago we would all live through a pandemic where we couldn't leave our homes. None of us would have believed it. So just try and live in this moment right now. So if someone says to me, how are you? I'll go, right now in this moment, I'm really well, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna start using that. I'm gonna start doing that. I need to do it more often. Like I know you're. It's right. But it's hard to bring yourself into that present moment.
You have to. Mirror work is very good.
Okay.
So if I find my brain is good, so I'll tell you a little bit of the story, right? So I'd gone to. This is the kind of aftermath of the story. So my mum, it doesn't matter if we go a few minutes over, Diane. It's Saturday, isn't it? My mum was diagnosed with bowel cancer, and I knew from looking at her notes that she wasn't going to get better, right? So my mum doesn't know that. My dad doesn't even want to listen to it because they were together from being 13 and 14. Wow. So I go up to her house one day, I walk through the back door and my mum says to my dad, go and ring the doctors because it's obviously important. So I walk into that line and I said, right, what's going on? And she said, my dad said, I've had a liver and kidney function test that's come back high. The doctors need to see me. I said, right, go and ring them. From him walking out of the door, in my head, like that, turning a light on. They both had terminal cancer. I'd moved out, I'd left Mick and gone to live with them because they both needed caring. All of this went through my head, like, oh my God, this is all going to happen and it's going to be real. And I felt physically sick. And he walked back in and I went, well, and he went, it's fine. They just want to do another one in 6 months' time. And this voice of this guy that I'd been talking to, who has nothing to do with psychology or mental health or anything, his voice went through my head and it just said, your thoughts are not reality. They are just your thoughts.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Your thoughts are not reality. They are just your thoughts. And then I read a book by a guy called Professor Stephen Peters called The Chimp Paradox. Have you ever read it?
I haven't. I'm aware
It's
of it, though.
brilliant.
Really?
Oh, it's brilliant. Talks about the different areas of your brain.
Yeah.
So your human brain, which is your learned behavior, which is very logical. Well, human brain, logical. Computer brain, which is your computer brain is your learnt behaviour. Your human brain is the rational part, and your chimp brain is the bit that goes, ah! like that.
Yeah.
So you come into work and you've done something wrong, and it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't do that job. Now I'm going to lose my job, and then I won't be able to pay my mortgage, and then I'll be on the streets, and then nobody will want me to, and then I won't be able to get a job because I won't have an address. But it's like that, right?
Yeah.
That's your chimp, and you have to learn to control the chimp. That is like the chimp, but for your cravings and your dopamine.
Yeah.
That helps you go, chimp, back in your cage. And I now, because I can't see anything, but I think about a chimp, putting it in a cage, locking the key, taking the cage out of my ear and going like that.
Yeah.
So because I can't see it, I physically do that.
Yeah.
Quirky
I
bird,
love that.
right? Quirky bird. So that's a little bit of that story. And one day I will write that story because it's the most bizarre story ever. And people look at you and go, what? Are you kidding me? I'm like, no, this is actually a thing that happened. And it was just a chance. Well, it wasn't a chance meeting. It was a universe that sent somebody to a friend of mine that needed help. And I actually got so much out of that. It was crazy. Please, guys, try this. Listen, it's $29.99. You get 3 months worth. If it doesn't work, what have you lost? But the great thing about this is the science behind it. And I love that because you have actually proven that this works.
Yep.
If you use it correctly and you use it often and you want to change, because that's the first step. I want to change. I want to stop eating that, or I want to change that learnt habit.
Yes.
I want to unlearn that learned behaviour. Try it and see where you get. Can I say a massive thank you? That has been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to spend an hour with you because well done you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, seriously, genuinely. I think that to want to make a difference in the world is an amazing quality. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I hope you come back many, many more times.
Hopefully.
Because that's been a pleasure, hasn't it? What a joy. Absolute joy. Say that again, Diane.
I think we need some confetti.
I do think we need some confetti. Look, Chris, you're getting confetti on the screen. Look at that.
Great, love it.
Yeah, it's Chris. Get your Killa Vanilla. Please, please try it. I will let you know on a weekly basis on air how I'm getting on with this. And I'm going to put it through its paces. So, yes, please try it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
We have got it in the snack area upstairs.
There's one on the snack side upstairs.
Brilliant. Well done, you.
Thank you.
I'll see you on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Take care. Lots of love.